everybody? You don't know who it is. Your boy Narcolepsy Boy 94, aka Malik, back here with another special episode. No debate today. I know the last couple episodes I've been doing strictly debates with Kyron and Steve. Today we're talking everything that's going to be going on in wrestling this week, specifically from Raw to NXT AEW to SmackDown, Hell in a Cell, all that stuff going on this week. It's going to be crazy chaos this week. I got my man Conrad here again for the first time in a while. He's been a little busy doing his own things too, but I got him back on the podcast. Gonna chop it up, have some good discussions. Make sure you guys leave your comments. Make sure to read the comments. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, even though I kind of just did, but you
we're talking everything wrestling. No one better than to have everything pro wrestling. That's what EPW stands for. Let's get ready to talk about some pro wrestling, Malik. I'm down.
All right, let's just start with. Since it's tomorrow, let's just start with Monday Night Raw. Since it's tomorrow, the quote-unquote season premiere. You know what I mean? That's how they do it. One of the most exciting things I'm excited for tomorrow, though, supposedly they're bringing back Pyro, and they got a new look for the stage, I guess. They got a new set coming to make everything look different and everything. So, how do you feel about that? Are you cool with them bringing Pyro back? Because when they took it away, I was kind of upset, to be honest.
There's two feelings on it. Now, I'm weird. I'm old. I don't care what you want to dog me for. Pyro, I don't like Pyro when I'm there live. I hate it.
Nobody does. Everybody hates it when you're there. Yeah.
I think a lot of people love it. Like, my friends laugh. Like, when I'm there, I'm the dude like this in the chair.
Oh yeah, see, I don't like it when I'm there.
I don't like loud noises, period, though. Like, even if I'm at somewhere and people are lighting off firecrackers, I don't like it. I've seen, like, the last 4th of July, I was at a party, and in the backyard, that it was just constant firecrackers. They're like, "What's wrong with you, man? That dude weird." And I'm like, "I'm not weird. You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I hate these loud noises. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't want to hear all this." And they just didn't care. And I'm like, and I feel like it draws attention to you when you do that, but whatever. So but I like the pyro visually when I'm watching it, from home. Like, there's nothing better than seeing, like, Edge's entrance and you see, like, the "I see clearly" or Batista and the there's nothing better than that. And then the boom, you love it. So it adds to people's entrances and everything else. Like, I miss it for AJ Styles, even when he would come out and then he flips the, like, it's weird now to think that he hasn't had it for so long. I don't know. It just seems weird. So it's good to see the pyro brought back. What was the other thing you had brought up?
They're supposed to say Raw's gonna have a new stage now, so they're gonna have like a different look for the stages.
I like it. I really want it to be vastly different than SmackDown, though. Like, in 2016, they changed the stages, but it wasn't too different.
Yeah, it was kind of the same. I miss back in the day when they used to, like, I miss when they make Raw and SmackDown completely different. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause they got this draft coming up too soon, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, if they're gonna make this happen, which I'm cool with, you know what I'm saying? If they're gonna do a draft, I'm buying. I'll buy into it. I'm saying, okay, I like drafts. They're exciting. They bring excitement to the thing, but you have to make it different. You got to make Raw and SmackDown. You got to bring storylines different. You can't make it feel the same. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have. I remember back in like 2004, 2005. You had Raw set, you had the SmackDown with the fist and everything. Like, everything felt different. You know what I mean? Like, you just felt like two different shows.
That SmackDown fist was dope, man. I heard a rumor that might be part of the design again.
If they bring that back, that'd be crazy, man. That'd be crazy. From what I heard, though, because they're going to Fox, they're talking about moving SmackDown to 3 hours now because Raw's 3 hours.
Oh, God, no.
So that's what they've been saying. Because that's what,
bro.
I guess that's what they want on the show, I guess. But they have to make it different, though. You know what I mean? You can't just – the whole wild card thing is pointless. It's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to see the same people on the same show anymore. If you're going to make Raw and SmackDown different, and they're going to have – another thing I want to do is if you're going to have two separate brands, you got to have their own pay-per-views too. It's better when they do that. It's better when they have their own pay-per-views. So Raw has their own shows.
It depends, though. Like, remember when they first did it? I did not like their own pay-per-views. Like, when they had, like, Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree versus, like, some random team.
Yeah.
But when they were doing them in 2016, I thought they did well.
That was good. See, 2016 was good for SmackDown, at least. I mean, let's see, 2016, you had, I think, who was the first pay-per-view to start off? I think it was like AJ Styles, John Cena were doing their thing. You had Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, which was good for the IC title. That was good stuff. Like, that was good TV stuff they were doing. The tag titles were, like, great.
Yeah, they were coming out with the tag belts. Heath Slater, Rhino for SmackDown. You had Miz and Dolph Ziggler feuding over the Intercontinental title. You had Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles going at it. You had a lot of different things going on. It's not bad. The key thing here with the draft, and I've always been against the draft under this, like, what I want to put it, asterisk. you have to keep the brand separate. If you're going to do it, you have to commit to it, even when it's bad. You can't just like pull the plug, put all the rosters back together until we figure this out. It has to stay separate.
It has to be separate. That's what makes everything exciting. Another thing too that really irritates me why they do this is that anytime SmackDown gets the edge over Raw, they just like pull the plug from SmackDown. Like, oh, we got to back up a little bit, SmackDown. I mean, like we got to let Raw get. Like, dude, like they're both your shows. Like, what does it matter? Like, both shows are getting great views. Like, what does it matter for SmackDown or Raw?
I think that's going to be different now, though, going forward.
I hope so. I mean, because for years, I always been a SmackDown guy, especially growing up, like from 2000, watching 2004, 2005, 2006. I was always SmackDown. I love SmackDown. SmackDown was my favorite to me. Even in 2016, I thought SmackDown was better than Raw then in 2016. They were putting on better pay-per-views, better stuff. But it seems like every time SmackDown gets more views or like they get more ratings, like, that one time they beat them in ratings, like SmackDown beat Raw in ratings this week. It's like they just pulled the plug. Like Vince like, okay, because Raw's the A show. You know what I mean? SmackDown's the B show. That's how they look. It's like, bro, why does it matter if SmackDown gets more? They're both your shows. Like you own both shows, so you're gonna make money from both shows no matter what. So if Raw's doing better than SmackDown, great. If SmackDown's doing better than Raw, I win either way. They're both my shows. So
right.
That just means Raw has to put on a better product than SmackDown. I mean, the creative team's gotta be like, all right, well, SmackDown's doing better. Let's figure something out.
It could be an ad revenue thing. There's reasons for everything, though. Like maybe Raw pays more money than SmackDown. I think Vince feels more attached to Raw because that's his baby. But things are about to change, though. I'm telling you. Vince McMahon got paid $1 billion by Fox, and we're hearing crazy rumors, and I'm sure we'll get into that. You know more than me, but they paid $1 billion. They're going to be the new number one. Michael Cole's on that brand.
Yeah,
the new number one. That's Vince's boy. Yeah.
Michael Cole's on the brand. Like, just think Brock Lesnar's going to be on SmackDown now too. Like, as soon as he showed up on SmackDown,
wrestling on TV. What's the last Brock Lesnar match that you remember on television?
It's been a minute, dude. It's been forever. Like, you can't even think about it, man.
I'm starting to think it was Zach Gowen down the stairs, man. That was the last thing I think he did.
I think the last SmackDown match he had. I know it was in 2004, but I don't remember who it was against. I don't think he wrestled. Any time when they did the whole thing with him and Goldberg through WrestleMania, I think they were just building that up the whole time. But
I'm looking it up right now. Let me see.
How would you feel about SmackDown going 3 hours though? If that's what Fox
No. I am 100% against 3 hours anything. I already don't know how Paul Heyman's going to make Raw interesting. It's too long. Like, it doesn't matter how good it is. I'm like tired by the time I'm done watching it. Hence, like, I had to change my review schedule because of all of this, Malik. Like, I'm not reviewing Monday Night Raw tomorrow. I'm not talking about WWE till the end of the week now. After SmackDown's when I'm going to do Raw, NXT, hopefully NXT if I get the chance to watch it, and everything. It'll all be covered in one show because I just can't anymore. It's too much.
So what do you want to see from Raw then? So quote unquote season premiere tomorrow. You know what I mean? Season premiere.
I want to see brand new. I want to see fresh from them. I want to see.
I mean, let's just be honest. The only thing they have going on right now is the Fiend. That's the only thing people are interested in Raw.
Yeah, you got Cedric getting a push a little bit. You can change things. This is your chance to start showing change. Maybe they're going to go light because they have the draft still coming up, and I get that. That's fine. But over these next couple weeks, I'm watching. Look at the announce team change. I am a big proponent of that. Yes, we got Jerry the King Lawler back, and I know some people are like, oh, he's old or whatever.
Jerry Lawler's great, man. Jerry Lawler's great.
Yeah, but they say it's temporary. Dio Madden. I have never heard this dude call anything, but I am familiar with Brendan Williams from his podcasting time. I was watching podcasts and stuff when I was going to college. Him and Shayna Baszler were on a podcast with Aubrey Sitterson a long time ago, and I remembered them. And they said their goals were to make it in the WWE. They're doing what we're doing right now. They were at their house talking pro wrestling on a computer screen. And I remembered him doing that. And now I'm going to see the dude as an announcer on Monday Night Raw tomorrow. That's really dope for him. And Vic Joseph, Johnny Gargano's friend, is getting the chance to be the lead commentator probably on Monday Night Raw. Where's Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton? They didn't. They went with brand new people.
Brand new people, man. That's except for SmackDown. They just basically moved the Raw team to SmackDown now. So I like the new announce team. It's different, you know what I mean? You can't really judge before you see it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see what they're like first. I mean, it's easy to look at it on paper for people to judge. Like, oh, who's these people? Like, you gotta wait, man. They haven't even announced the match yet. Like, let them get in there and get fresh. Even if they mess up a couple times, it's gonna be they're new people. You know what I mean? So they gotta get used to it. That's why they put in Jerry Lawler because he's done it before. So he's like, hey, He's probably gonna help him out, walking through a lot of things. Let him know that Vince is gonna be in their ear a lot, saying stuff.
Last time Brock Lesnar wrestled on SmackDown, it was March 2nd, 2004 against Hardcore Holly, and it aired on March 4th.
Jesus Christ, dude. It's been a long time, man. That's been a minute. So we're going to get to that match. Obviously, we have to discuss that. But
Brock's on Raw, too, tomorrow.
Yeah, he's on Raw, too, tomorrow to promote the match for Raw. But with the draft coming up and with how everything's going to SmackDown, who do you think is going to be on Raw? Because we've heard so many people like Brock Lesnar going to be on SmackDown, or Roman Reigns going to be on SmackDown, Ronda Rousey when she comes back going to be on SmackDown. So it's like who's going to be on Raw?
I don't know, man. It's tough because I think Raw is going to become the new SmackDown. Raw is going to be where you're going to get little edgy storylines. You're working with Paul Heyman, and I think that's where you put the guys where you want them to find themselves, that character. Paul Heyman has always been good at hiding your negatives and exploiting your positives. Anything a good wrestling promoter would be great at. Paul Heyman is also going to be in charge of guys who maybe Vince McMahon doesn't see as their top guy yet, and that's why they're not on SmackDown.
Right.
Let Paul Heyman do his thing. I think you let Heyman and Bischoff actually run this like they would.
So, like, compete, like, just let them two compete.
Let them compete. You guys have the exact same amount of people. I would say you run it like it's a real draft. It's time for wrestling to put some shoot elements into this. It's a work. I get it. And I know maybe I'm going over people's heads with some of this talk, but let Heyman and Bischoff really run it. And Vince, you be the referee. Vince does not need to be involved in any of this anymore. He doesn't. It's not necessary. People got this. It's a layup, bro. Vince, do you really want to deal with Fox?
I think Vince, he could easily just stick to, like, making the deals outside of that, but it'd be like the Fox deals, like just making the bigger brands outside of, like, he can just stick with that and and of course he's going to have say, and if he wants to have say and people go over, not fine, whatever, that's going to be him. So it's like people can come like, hey, who's going to go over? We want him to go over. Vince going to have the say in that, whatever. Cool. But like when it comes to storylines, I think you got to have more trust. You know what I'm saying? Trust people to think that your creative team knows what the fans want. So if he comes with an idea, nobody wants to hear like pooper scooper and all that corny stuff anymore. Like we want to see more edgier stuff. You know what I mean? I get you got the PG era going on, and you have kiddie audience. So you got the kiddie audience doesn't really understand why bad guys may be bad guys and people are doing certain things, but make it a little bit more edgier, man.
You're a little bit above the PG era, but you got to think kids younger than you now, they're older now.
Right.
They want to see edgier things to stay
let's be real. I'm from the PG era, and the PG era was basically the John Cena era. That John Cena era is over with. He's gone. His John Cena is gone. His era's over with. He had his time, and he was basically the PG guy. He was the company guy. That's why people hated him for so long. I mean, but he's gone now. John Cena is not. He's not there anymore. It's time to move on to something different. And I don't even think you could have a top guy like that anymore. I think he's probably the last one. I don't think people want to see anybody be the top guy. I think people just kind of want a mixture of things.
Yeah, they want to see kind of the brand more than a star. And John Cena is probably the last person who got a taste of the star life.
I don't think he. They tried with Roman Reigns. Obviously, that failed miserably because people already knew what that was like. So it's like, that's why they haven't pushed him as hard as since he came back from that leukemia, because they're like, you know what, he's getting cheered now.
I think anybody after Austin, though, even Rock, I think they were doomed. You know what? Maybe even after Brock, I think Brock was kind of like a freak of nature, and they were going to let it rock. But you were doomed because if you're anointed Vince's guy, everything's your fault, and people don't like you. Like I feel like that's what happened to Rollins. Rollins was everyone's favorite a year ago, and now.
See, let me ask you. I don't understand why people hate Rollins. See, I like Rollins, man. I don't understand the hate for Rollins right now.
I can explain it to you a little bit. I won't play my SummerSlam videos because you'll see me angry in them. But Seth Rollins as a character, he's a great wrestler. He does everything right. Where Rollins started to make people angry were two things. One, Becky Lynch. Once they brought your love life into a storyline, it felt teeny boppish, and they were just.
Was that really his fault though, or did he just doing what they tell him to do?
He is, but it still ruins your character. Like I'm not into this, so I'm not gonna. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if you don't stick up for your character, then people aren't into it. You can't be like, well, what did you want me to do? Well, you're the top guy, bro. You should have spoke up because now I'm not into you or Becky. Like I thought Becky lost some steam from that. She's kind of picking it up again, but
Yeah, so the her and Sasha thing is kind of helping it back, but
and Rollins kind of saved himself with that good match at SummerSlam with Brock. Because when I was in the arena, I'm not gonna lie, people booed him at first. By the end of the match, people were cheering him again. So yeah. Rollins knows how to put on a good match and get people behind him. I think as a character is the problem. The second thing where he messed up was with that Will Ospreay exchange. Yeah, he tried to be the company guy towing the line, and you never say anything like, "Yeah, I make more money than you. How's my checkbook look?" And I'm like, not a good thing to say, bro. That was kind of that's a jerk move to say that to anybody. Like, I make more money than you, so I'm better than you.
Yeah, I remember him tweeting stuff. Didn't he tweet something about Moxley too? Moxley left. He said he couldn't hang or something like that.
Well, he didn't. I thought Roman Reigns handled it with like respect, and he was kind of fair about it. Like, hey man, he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. We ever meet up again? That's still my brother. I'll buy him a beer. Right. And then Rollins kind of was like, he couldn't hang, and I'm just like, why would you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. I don't. Maybe I like Rollins. I'm looking at it from the wrestling perspective. When he gets in the ring, bro, he's top 5 easy to me. I mean, you put him in the ring, he can have a match with anybody.
There's that upper echelon of people in wrestling that you just know. You're talking the Okadas, the Rollins, the Kenny Omegas. All these guys are phenomenal pro wrestlers, and if you put them in there, they're going to tear it up.
Exactly, that's how he is. I mean, him and Strowman had a pretty decent match. I thought at Clash Champions. I mean, that was all because of Rollins. Rollins was in there putting it on with him, so. I don't know, man. I understand, the whole Becky thing too. That kind of threw off some steam. But I was just looking at it, maybe it's because that's what kind of I feel like that's what Vince wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Because once they found out everybody was dating, Vince probably like, well, we got to put it on TV. You know what I mean, everybody knows now. So
yeah, I just think there's a way to do it, and they didn't do it the right way.
I don't think they should never put them on TV together.
It felt like Zach and Kelly from Saved by the Bell more than like real life pro wrestling. I was just like, oh, cut the lovey-dovey stuff, man. I want a world champion who's a raw, like badass dude, not not my girl.
Yeah, so with Raw, it's hard to say who they're gonna get. I definitely see Seth Rollins staying on Raw, Becky too. Bray Wyatt, I think you can't have Bray Wyatt on SmackDown with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and all that. That's too much star power, man.
Did you read the rumors though in the news? Like, there's a bid right now for both sides that want him. Both Fox said they want the Fiend.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? He's like the hottest thing going in wrestling right now for WWE. So let's talk about that. This character, man. First of all, the first Bray Wyatt character was great, and when he first came in, I was digging it. The whole Wyatt family stuff. I was like, oh, this dude is great. He had a lot of momentum behind him. Of course, it got killed off and everything. But this is something different that I've never seen before. It's like a scary movie type thing. You know what I mean? It's like
I thought the same though with the Bray Wyatt character. The original character in his inception reminded me. Have you ever seen the movie Red State?
No, I haven't. What is it about?
Red State is a movie. I think Kevin Smith wrote it, if I'm not mistaken. So if you've ever seen any of his movies, this is kind of like a horror film. These kids go out and I'm going to give you like a little brief synopsis of it. They go out and they hire like a hooker or something. Like they all pooled their money together. They're high school kids, hired a hooker. Well, the hooker takes them. They're like, well, you got to have a drink to loosen up. And they're like trailer kids. So she spikes their drink with something. They're knocked out. You wake up and now you're in a church. She was a member of a church trying to be like a cult leader to get people in. I won't spoil it from there, but he reminds me of the preacher from the church, Bray Wyatt, and that character of like, dude, this is super creepy, but he's kind of right too, but it's still creepy. And it's like, whoa. And I loved everything he was doing with the Wyatt family. That was just scary. Eric Rowan not speaking. I have the mask back there with the like sheet mask or whatever, and he would just sit there and he's just turning his head sideways. You're like, yo, what's up with that dude? Luke Harper would just, yeah. You would just like, what's up? This family is a horror family. And then they screwed it up, obviously, went through all the phases. He was teaming with Matt Hardy, and I was like, this sucks. This is the drizzling doo-doos. And not that it was bad, but it was just like, Bray's so much better than this. Yeah. And Matt Hardy's on his way out, and this is what we're doing with him. And then he became back as the Fiend. And I was at SummerSlam, bro. That was one of the dopest like entrances I've ever seen in my life. That was so sweet, man.
The whole thing, when he first came in, the character was good, but then they always, every time something hot, you always feed him to the wrong guys that they can't beat. You know what I'm saying? They fed him to John Cena. He's not beating John Cena at WrestleMania. Then they fed him to Roman Reigns. Of course, Roman Reigns is going to be your next top guy. He's not beating Roman Reigns either. It's just like, bro, you feed him to the wrong type of people. Even though Undertaker thing was cool, but it's like, if you want him to build up some steam, he's losing so much steam. He lost all that. If you go from WrestleMania 30 all the way to 31, he lost all that steam within a year. Just through the whole year, it's gone by the end of the year.
They took it out of him, but you know what? They had great moments too where they could have repaired him. Like I loved when him and Roman were in the tag team against Rusev Del Rio. I forgot their team name now. With Wade Barrett.
Oh, you talking about League of Nations?
Yeah. When they were in there, do you remember that match where Bray hits the Sister Abigail, goes for the pen, and then someone's coming in to break it up, and he puts his hand up like this at him, and then Roman spears him? It was beautiful. Like, go back and find that where they team up, Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt as a babyface was working well, and I think he got hurt, and I was just like, oh, man, he is doomed.
I was even digging it when they brought in Strowman for the first time. When they brought him with the black mask, I was like, ooh,
I think that's when he returned from that, and then Strowman came in.
Because when he came in, I was like, who the hell is this? Like, this guy huge. Like, he had the black mask on and everything. He took it. I was like, yo, they could have did crazy things with that, man. Those four together, they could have did great things with that, but they didn't do it.
They beat the ECW guys and right back to the same thing, losing the top guys.
The Fiend, though, man, it's interesting because there's certain ways that fans feel like you have to protect it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to protect the character in certain ways, and he's already fighting for a championship on Sunday. So it's like it's throwing people off. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna ruin it already? Like, what are we? Because it's hard to trust WWE when they have something so great in their hands.
And Rollins just got the belt back.
Yeah. So
here's what I see it though. We complained about WWE with the whole not striking while the iron's hot. Seth Rollins, perfect example. He won the belt at SummerSlam this year. It felt kind of blah to me a little bit on the
last year. Would have been great.
Exactly. Rollins was hot with the Intercontinental title. You could have did title versus title. Rollins could have been the man and people would have loved him. Now we're in the same position with The Fiend. You're mad and upset, but look, the WWE 2K20 video game's coming out. The Fiend is the pre-order bonus. It's Halloween. You want to sell those masks? This is the time. Put this character. So I get why WWE is doing it. And if he wins, the WWE is striking while the iron's hot. So are you really going to be mad? And we know fans are going to turn on this instantly. No matter how much you call fans out for it, a lot of wrestling fans are like, he's boring. I'm tired of this. Does he need to be on TV every week? I say no. Does he need to be missing as much as Brock Lesnar? No. You could do something with this.
Even if you don't put him in the ring, you can still do the Firefly Funhouse thing. You know what I mean? You just have him do one of those episodes, like every something. Have him drop little hints on what he's got, who he's coming with next. You know what I mean? Like try to pick up little hints. But the way I wanted to see it, this is the idea that I had. Since he's now got his steam back and everybody's behind this whole character, before he got they already announced he's gonna have the title, so it's not gonna work. But I wanted him to go after everybody that he didn't get to beat when he should have. So I wanted him to go after Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, go after Braun Strowman. He already did. If John Cena comes back after Cena, you can go after Undertaker. That would be great. Him and Undertaker now, I think that would be great. And I even said, have him go after Goldberg. Have him squash Goldberg. Like, I know how Goldberg squashed people in matches. How crazy would that be, if he squashed Goldberg, the guy who squashes people in matches, you know what I mean? And then have him, to top it off, at WrestleMania, I thought he should beat Brock Lesnar. Like, have him beat Lesnar at WrestleMania. Then after that, he's a monster. You can have him get the title after that. He beats Brock Lesnar because when you put Brock in the matches, it's really hard to predict. Like, he's wrestling Sunday. It's hard to predict if he's going to win, if he's going to lose. Because it's like, is he going to beat Kofi for the title? I can't really see Kofi beat him, but you never know because, it's hard to kind of predict things. So that's how I wanted to build things up, but that's not how the direction is going to go in. So
I would have went slower too.
Yeah, you have him go after everybody that he should have beat. It all makes sense. There's all reasons behind it. You know what I mean? Like when he should have beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania and Randy Orton beat him. There's all reasons behind that. John Cena, Roman Reigns, reasons behind that. You get Braun Strowman, there's reasons behind it because of the Wyatt family and all that stuff. Goldberg, he's legendary. He squashes people. You just kind of want to, do it maybe because you want to do it, whatever. Undertaker, WrestleMania, it makes sense. The dark character, he wants to. What was he saying when he was cutting those promos against Taker at WrestleMania? He was saying he was it was something about like the evil. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was saying like he was the king of evil or something weird like that. Like he
uses a lot of like Bible verses and stuff in his promos. It's kind of weird, like stuff that you could flip both ways.
Yeah, he was doing something like that, but he could easily go take. And then top it off, Lesnar. That's the match that was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 32, but it didn't happen for reasons that we don't know about. But the match got just called off instantly because remember they all threw him out of the Rumble. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's wrestling Dean Ambrose now. So there's reasons behind all that. And then if Raw is the champion, I can go after the champion after that. It all makes sense because after then, that's a slow build up. But fans don't think I have patience for that nowadays, man. We're old school. I like slow build. I like rivalries that last time and time again. You know how you have slow build ups for months and months and months, and then the match happens that you're waiting for, and it's epic. Fans don't have the patience for that anymore. I don't think so. That's why I don't think they pull the trigger with stuff like that anymore. But with Raw tomorrow, I'm expecting, like you said, I want to see a lot of different things, a lot of superstars being used that maybe use it, like for example, Chad Gable. How can you not run with this guy now? This guy put on 2 good matches in a row with Baron Corbin. They had 2 great matches on a row.
You know, bro, I've been saying Chad Gable's praises for a long time. I'm the dude on Twitter writing like Chad Gable is the next Kurt Angle if you let him be. Let this guy run with it. I think he's absolutely amazing. And Baron Corbin's turned around a lot of people. I don't see that hate as much, man. He puts on good matches. Baron Corbin's good, man.
Yeah, like I said, they had 2 good matches on Raw. The King of the Ring match was great. It was the fans were into it. The fans were into the match they had on Raw. Even I already even seen it. You know, when they announced the rematch, people were posting, "Oh my god, a rematch like this week." By the time the match was over, people were like, "God damn, that match!" You know, so it's like, bro, like they have good chemistry together. So if they had a match Sunday at Hell in a Cell, I wouldn't be too mad about that. You know, if they put them together at Hell in a Cell, they put on good matches.
No, they could rock, man. They could let this go until the pay-per-view.
So let's move on. I want to talk about this. We got to talk about the quote-unquote Wednesday Night Wars. This is going to be insanity. So NXT, first of all, what do you think of the first 2 NXT shows they did on
I love NXT. NXT is probably my favorite brand still. No matter what. They always put on really good shows. I just loved it, man. The first show, my only complaint was there was a bad match on there with Aaliyah, I think, and Xia Li.
Yeah.
That was kind of garbage, but that neither girl's fault. Maybe it was just like mistiming or mischemistry. But that's going to happen when the shows are 2 hours. Now you're getting more matches. You may get a stinker in there. Cool. And the WWE Network not working when I tried to log in. Like you said, that
I did too. I did it for a minute too. Yeah.
Yeah, but they fixed it week 2. I love the big brawl with Killian Dane and Matt Riddle, and then it turned into like it reminded me of Nitro when I used to watch back in the day. Like they're brawling, and you can see Disney World in the background, and people are calling the cops, and I'm like, what is happening?
All right.
Walter and them showing up. NXT UK. Leo Rush makes his return, hitting that stunner off the bottom rope where he kind of just like dropped.
That was dope.
Yeah. The bounce back, I think Morrow and them were calling it. He was trying to get a name for it on Twitter, but
a lot of the NXT, you got Rhea Ripley there now. I heard Tony Storm's going to be over there. Imperium is going to be there. Pete Dunne's there now. So there's a lot of familiar faces that people aren't going to be familiar with that I think going to be good. Like Dominik Dijakovic. Dude's dope, man. He's really dope. Cameron Grimes.
Keith Lee
is crazy. Who's the guy that beat? I can't remember his name. The guy that beat Cameron Grimes in that tournament, Jordan something.
Jordan Miles. He went with the Spider-Man name.
Yeah, dude is dope, man. He's crazy. You still got good tag teams down there. I like Forgotten Son. I think they're great. I like them. You still got Street Profits down there, Undisputed Era. Obviously, you got other tag teams that haven't even introduced yet. So there's a lot of great. And they got the cruiserweights now, don't they? And they got 205 Live cruiserweights now. So
that's the rumor too. 205 Live will end, and they'll just get picked up by either NXT or NXT UK.
Yeah, so I mean, you have Tony Nese. Tony Nese is great. I like Tony Nese. You'll have Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak's great. You have all these superstars from 205 Live. It's a big mish, man. It's going to be good TV stuff. So there's going to be familiar. They haven't even used Johnny Gargano yet, and both episodes they had were good. Were good episodes. You know what I mean? So I dig it. I love that Undisputed Era all have the championships now. They all have the gold, which was kind of predicted for a minute. So.
Why couldn't they just do it when I was there live, man? They just had to make me wait. Then I'm like, yo, I got all my predictions wrong because of you guys.
I want to see. I don't know if they'll do it, but I'm kind of digging. I want to maybe at War Games. I want to see Undisputed Era versus Imperium. I think that'd be great.
I think so too. NXT UK versus NXT would be dope.
That'd be insane, bro. Imperium versus Undisputed Era. That would be amazing, man. That'd be. I mean, obviously it won't be for the title, so you have to fill in other matches, But you can fill in other matches. You have Johnny Gargano versus Matt Riddle. That'd be a great match, Have those guys go at it. Velveteen Dream versus whoever you want to throw in, Cameron Grimes. Introduce somebody new to the dominant. Pete Dunne versus Velveteen Dream. Put somebody different on there. You know what I mean?
Do you think they keep the little like five? Do you think that they keep it like the 5-match format for NXT pay-per-views though, or do you think now they're gonna have to expand it because you got more talent?
I think they'll start maybe expanding the match quality, which means like triple threat, fatal 4-ways. Like they'll start adding more people into matches instead of making it more matches. I think that'd be better to do anyway. So like if
I think you could add like 2 more matches and I'd be okay with it. You're just gonna have to cut down the length a little bit for everybody.
I think what makes NXT so great though is that with the 5 matches, all matches have great timing. So it's like you have enough time for all matches to get their shit in. You know what I mean? So it's like if you wanted to do, if Roderick Strong was going to defend the North American title, you could throw in Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle, and Pete Dunne, and have a fatal 4 right there for the title. That'd be crazy. You know what I mean? You could have all guys in there. Or with Baszler, I said this on my last podcast, but with her, all her matches end by the same way with submission. She puts people to sleep or people tap out. All her matches are the same. With them adding Rhea Ripley to the roster, I wanted to see at the next takeover, which I think would be dope because it'd be something different. You have Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae, who's getting over super with the crowd. Mia Yim, who she beat. Bianca Belair, who she beat. Io Shirai, who I don't think she's beat yet, but she was doing stuff with Candice LeRae. It makes sense to put her back in there and then have her fight Rhea Ripley. Have them do a 6-woman ladder match. That would be something different, something crazy because that's a different challenge for Shayna. You know what I mean? Like she can't put people to sleep to win. You got to climb a ladder and retrieve the title. And I think it makes the aura different because it's kind of like who really wins. Like Shayna, did she win a ladder match, or are they going to put it on Bianca Belair? Are they going to put it on Candice LeRae? Are they going to put it on Rhea Ripley? I think it's something different. You know what I mean? You have it different. And all 6 girls are over. All 6 girls are over.
Any one of them could carry that championship the way that people want them to, too.
Yeah, and whoever wins, I think people will be excited for whoever wins. Like, oh, Candice LeRae won. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? So it's like Shayna was retained. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be different to do that, but they probably won't go in that direction. So before we hop into AEW, this week we got 3 title matches. We got Street Profits versus Undisputed Era, Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler, and then we got Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole. Out of those 3 matches, what are your predictions for those? What do you see coming out of that?
Tough, man. I don't even want to answer these. So let me ask you a question first before we get into this. Small one. Do you see any call-ups for NXT people going into this draft? Because here's my predictions, and I'll go through that, then I'll let you rebuttal, because that's my thinking. I think some people are getting called up. Street Profits have appeared too much on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, not to be called up.
Yeah.
So I think the Undisputed Era get that one. Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae. I'm going to stick with Shayna Baszler. I think that it's not Candice's time just yet. She's close, but I think she's got to eat a tap out first. And then last but not least, Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole. I think Matt Riddle got himself into trouble with the Goldberg stuff a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong in this. I love Matt Riddle. He's probably going to be a champion one day, whichever belt he wants, the North American or the NXT. But I think it's still Adam Cole's time right now. And that's the beauty of all 4 of them having the belts, too. Every member of Undisputed Era, because they're going to be able to tease anytime they defend the belt. Like, is it tonight the night? Do they lose tonight? It reminds me of Evolution. Like, people would defend the belts. I'm like, oh, don't tell me old Rick about to get penned from a 3D. Come on.
I think with the brands, from what I've heard, the goal for Triple H is now that they're on TV, he wants to make this a third option, a third brand. You know what I mean? So he wants people to have kind of that third option, like, hey, this is a real brand. You don't have to be called up to go onto these 2 rosters. You know what I mean? And he's even talked about, hey, if people are unhappy, come down to NXT. You know, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, for example, they weren't doing anything on the main roster for those years. Now they're back in NXT doing better things. You know what I mean? So I think he wants to give it an option for people to, hey, like, Shelton Benjamin, if you don't want to say you don't want to travel as much, like, hey, Shelton, you don't want to travel as much, come down here to NXT, come help, come give advice to the younger talent, come help them, put them guys over. Shelton Benjamin can go down there, he can put people over, still get good matches out of people, and he can give advice. He knows a lot of knowledge, so he can help out with backstage stuff and give advice. Or somebody like Viking Raiders. Hey, Vince, you ain't gonna do anything with Viking Raiders. Go on, bring them back down to NXT. I'll take them. No, I'll take the War Raiders back and make them the War Raiders again, put them back. So I think you have to have them. I think you got to keep the brands the same. You know what I mean? I think you got to keep the draft separate from Raw and SmackDown, and keep the people you have for NXT, because with them competing against AEW on weekly television, you got to have the best talent you got for that roster. You got to have people that people care about. That's why they're keeping Johnny Gargano. That's why they still have Undisputed Era. That's why they brought up Imperium. That's why they brought Pete Dunne, Rhea Ripley, all those guys from NXT UK, because those are the ones people are familiar with the most, because they've done stuff with the main roster and everything like that. And so I think you got to keep it the same, man. I don't think it'd be good if you had, if we tune into SmackDown and all of a sudden Candice LeRae comes out on SmackDown and you're like, what? Like, why is Candice LeRae on SmackDown? She was just on NXT getting a big push.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. I'm interested just to see what they do, too, because if you are going to do a draft and NXT's included, it's like, well, who isn't going to pick up the NXT champion, or who wouldn't pick up Matt Riddle
or
right away? You got to keep those brands strong.
Yeah, you got to keep them strong. So flipping over to AEW, with their first, there's a lot of steam behind this. This is their first live show, televised show. A lot of steam going on to it. You got a lot of great matches there now. I think they announced Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, and two partners of his choosing, two mystery partners. Excuse me, I can't remember who Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes facing? I can't remember who's facing.
Sammy Guevara. Actually, shout out to Montezzi, who I interviewed. He said he's doing Sammy Guevara song when you hear it. So on he'll one of his songs will be on the first match for AEW. So he's kind of hyped for that.
What are you looking forward to this, man? The AEW's been having a lot of buzz since the press conference they had when Jericho came out. We've had 3 pay-per-views, I believe. We had Double or Nothing. We had Fight for the Fallen. We had All Out. So we had 3 solid pay-per-views. There might be another one, I think.
We missed one in between there. Fight for the Fallen. They did another one in
Fighter
between.
Fest. Yeah, so they did 4 pay-per-views around the year. All of them were great. All of them had a lot of steam behind them. But now this is the first show. No, this is not a televised show. They're going to be on the road weekly, going different places with everything like that. What are you ready to see out of this? There's a lot of build-up behind this.
Man, AEW, from what I've been watching like Cody and Brandy doing interviews all week and everything else. And I know some people are AEW haters. I'm not part of this war. I don't care about it. Like, I get that there's a war happening, but I'm not on either side. I don't care. I'm here to enjoy the wrestling. And AEW is the reason why WWE's better, in my opinion, right now. We're excited about watching Monday Night Raw. When's the last time you felt like that? Maybe 2016?
Yeah.
It's been a while. I'm excited to watch wrestling every day almost this week. Like, I'm going to be like, oh, it's Monday. Time to watch Raw. Tuesday, I'm going to probably wake up and be like, oh, Impact starting on Access TV now, or whatever you want to watch. Maybe you're catching a rerun from GCW. Wednesday's going to happen. I don't even know how you're going to watch both of these. I think I'm going to do AEW, then NXT on Thursday. So Thursdays, I got NXT to watch, and that's supposed to be your free day. And then there's shows popping up for that now, and NXT UK's on Thursday. So I'm like, oh, God, how can I watch all this? And then Fridays, you got shows, Saturdays, and me and you both know we're recording and everything else when it comes to this. But AEW changed the game. They're hurting some companies. Ring of Honor's hurting for attendance figures and everything else. AEW really changed it, and I'm excited to see what they bring. I can't wait to see MJF in a heel role on a major company, like on a major platform. What is he going to do? You also have him versus Brandon Cutler happening on that first show. I just want to see what these guys are going to bring, man. Some of these guys have never been on television before. What have they learned? What are they going to do? AEW is going to make mistakes too. People don't understand that. Just because you've been doing something for like 9 months and you're just talking about, me and you could talk about making a promotion right now. We'll sound just like them. Like, yeah, we'll do this. That sounds good. Yeah, we'll do this to combat WWE. But now the problems are really going to start kicking in, whether it's from television production every week. How do we get this to happen on TV? It's not easy for them. So AEW's got a lot of hurdles to climb, but they need to show up with some surprises and everything else too. They got to keep the fan interested. And maybe later on down the line, we can start seeing some bid wars for people. Maybe when Randy Orton's contract comes up, they're calling me. Yeah, let's see the money, bro. I'm friends with Cody.
Yeah, you already had. I don't know if you heard. I've been watching a lot of Cody's interviews, stuff like that. And he's actually said like people have texted like WWE like thanking him because WWE's giving them bigger offers because they don't want them to go over there now. So he's like, hey, they're paying us more money. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cody even said that he's watching some people's contracts. That's that he knows. Rey Mysterio's name came up as a name that he's like, I'm watching. I want him in AEW. He basically said that. Like, he wants Rey Mysterio in AEW.
I feel like guys like Mysterio and the Hardys, I feel like they're gonna end their career in WWE because that's where they started. So I feel like they went back there, and I feel like this is where my career is gonna end. I mean, especially with the whole backstage stuff with him and Dominic, everything. I feel like once his son really starts to wrestle, I think Rey Mysterio is gonna think about retiring for real. Because I've heard the rumors like, they said that he wants to have a match with the son, and he wants to team up with the son at least once. So after that, I feel like Rey Mysterio, he's gonna be happy with his career. It's like he's probably gonna be like,
some of these guys too, like it doesn't make sense for them to go to AEW. AJ Styles was a perfect example. Why would AJ Styles leave the WWE? He's in a good position. He gets paid well. He knows what he's got to do. Gets to hang out with his family because he doesn't wrestle all the time every week.
Exactly. And he said this is his last contract he signed too. He said he's done after his end. So I feel like the ones going to go to AEW are going to be the ones that aren't used who feel like they're bigger than that. You know what I mean? So maybe like, say, a Buddy Murphy, by the time his contract ends, he's like, do I really want to stay in WWE or do I want to go to AEW? Where I know I could probably have a better shot of making a name for myself. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to open different opportunities. One of the things I want to see from AEW too, I want to see a little bit more hardcore, edgy stuff, man. I miss stuff like that. Like when they did the chair shot with Cody, crazy, right? It was crazy, and it was done wrong. He busted it open, but I liked it. At first, I was like, whoa, like they haven't done chair shots. Like I can't say the last time I saw a headshot. You know what I'm saying? Somebody took a headshot, and it was an unprotected headshot with the chair. Again, it's unsafe. It went wrong too. Had staples in his head, and they probably said he'll never do it again. But I want to see a little bit. I want to see a little bit more blood in matches. I mean, like, I hate when people get hit in the head with like steel pipes, and they get up and they're like, there's nothing on their face. Like, how are you gonna get hit in the head with a pipe? Bleed. It don't make no sense. You gotta make it. You gotta sell the product.
Yeah, you came from that era too of where people would bleed a lot in the matches, ruthless aggression era. That's tough stuff. I think each person in AEW has their own kind of thing too. The Young Bucks are there to put on great tag matches. Kenny Omega is there to help find Joshi talent and put on the singles matches that tell a story in the ring. Cody's job is to kind of tell that old school WCW-esque story. Like, they're all really good at it. I think Cody's been one of the best performers for them. I'm not going to lie. Cody has had me invested in all of his matches since All In. So he's doing a good job. Like, Cody's matches, I'm always like, this might be the best match on the card. Let him go.
Yeah, you got to think he's going to be wrestling Jericho at the next pay-per-view, the Full Gear. That's a story. To me, they have to talk about WWE in that storyline. You gotta talk about where they came from. Jericho's got to throw shots like, I made it in WWE. You didn't succeed in the big leagues. You know what I mean? Like, I was champion. You got to throw shots like that, man. You got to make it interesting for fans. Like, what? Like,
and things could change easily too. Look at the record system that they have. I like this. We're paying attention to who's won, who's lost, and they're going to put in a whole bunch of other stuff with it. I like the fact that they're using these schematics to show things in pro wrestling. It's going to make it more interesting. You're a football fan, basketball fan, sports fan, just like me, and we love that stuff. Stat junkies. I watched the Buffalo Bills game today. We lost. Hate Patriots. Yes, knock it off. So they did their thing, and they were talking about how Buffalo Bills beat the Patriots every 8 years. So in 2003, they beat them. Then they didn't beat them again until 2011, and it's 2019. Where are they going to do it? Now, we all know when a stat gets brought up in football, that usually means it ain't going to happen or something bad's about to happen. Right. But it was cool to hear that, though. The little schematics, it just works.
I like stats, too. I'm a big proponent on stats. But you got to think, look at the roster. Like, they got great tag teams. They got Lucha Bros.
Crazy. They got the best tag team, and they haven't even had tag matches really yet.
Young Bucks. You got Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, bro. That's like probably the most over thing in AEW right now between those two.
Is that your favorite tag team?
They're not my favorite tag team, no.
That's my favorite tag team. Like, I want them to win the tag title tournament.
My favorite tag team, Lucha Bros, easily, bro. Like, I'm pulling for them in any match.
Oh, I love them. I met them. They were cool dudes, man.
Lucha Bros is cool, but I like I followed Luchasaurus' career because I watched Big Brother, so I saw him come on Big Brother, and he was talking about like how his wrestling career. So once he said he was on once he said he was a wrestling, I started looking him up. Like, what? And I know he was Judas Devlin. I was like, oh, I started looking at his matches when he was at NXT. Then afterwards, so. Now, like, I messaged dude, like, he messaged me back and everything. Like, I comment on stuff. He's like, thanks, man. Appreciate the support and everything. Because I followed his career. So I've been following him since, like, 2015 when he was on Big Brother. But now he's doing stuff with Luke Perry's son, Jungle Boy, and they're doing crazy tag team stuff. You got Best Friends. Best Friends are great. I like Best Friends. They put on good matches. You got SCU. Then you got what's the tag team? We got the guys with the mask. I can't remember their names.
The Dark Order.
Dark Order, they're crazy good too, man. So they got a solid tag team division.
And we talk about the Young Bucks or Private Party.
Yeah, Young Bucks, Private Party. They got a crazy tag team, man. And the tournament's pretty much unpredictable, man. It's hard to predict who's gonna win, you know what I mean? Because they got like the way the bracket set up. It's like I don't know who's coming out of this thing. And then you got to think the women's division is stacked too, man. You got Nyla Rose. You got
we're crowning the first champion too on that show. We forgot about that.
Nyla Rose. Who's she facing again? I can't remember. Rio. They got a bunch of Japanese women. They got a bunch of Japanese people out there, man. The people who, they may not be familiar with from New Japan or anything like that, but if anybody watches wrestling, you know that Japan is huge in wrestling. Crazy huge. They got their own promotion and everything. And they got a lot of good talent down there that people may never heard of. So you got a lot of great talent in the women's division from Japan. Yeah, they brought back Awesome Kong. Come on, man. You brought back one of the most dominant females ever. And they got her with Brandy Rhodes, too. They got a crazy female division stacked up, man. They got I really want them to get Tessa Blanchard. She's like one of the hottest, females not in WWE or AEW.
That's crazy that she's in Impact, man. Impact's got to do everything to keep their hands on her because I think that's the biggest star that they have right now, too.
Tessa Blanchard is great. She had a match with a dude. She had a match with a dude on a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So
main evented.
Tessa Blanchard is great. Then you got Britt Baker down there, too. I wish they would sign. I heard a rumor that they might sign Mercedes Martinez too because she appeared at the.
She did really good at that show,
and she did good in the Mae Young Classic too. Like she was killing the Mae Young Classic. So they got a lot of good talent, man. And with the AEW, I think Nyla Rose is gonna win though. I think she's gonna take the title.
I'm gonna go against you. I got Rio.
You got Rio? I don't know. I like Nyla Rose though, man. I dig her, man. She's dope, dude. I didn't even know today, but I seen an interview with Cody Davis that she's transgender, bro. I had no idea.
You really didn't know?
No, I didn't know. I had no idea. I couldn't tell.
I didn't know until I looked her up when they first announced her because I've seen her on I think Power Slam TV. Nyla Rose is an amazing in-ring performer. And when she goes out there, I thought she had one of the better matches. And when did they have the triple threat match? Was that at Fight for the Fallen?
Fight for the Fallen. Yeah.
That was a really good triple threat match, and she was a big proponent in that. So let them rock, man. I think they're gonna have a really good match.
Yeah, I do too, man. I had no. That's shocking, man. I was like, damn, man. She's really good in the ring, man. She's incredible. I think it's dope, man. So
these first shows going against each other are stacked. I think the key thing that's going to turn people out to say which one's better will be the surprises. Because who are Jericho's partners? Yeah. I thought it was going to be. They've already debuted them, so now I'm like, well, it's probably them. But wouldn't they have announced it already if it was?
Yeah, I don't know, man. They've only said they announced 40% of their roster, so I have no idea. Look. It's going to be hard for me to decide what show I'm going to watch every week. I can tell you this week, I will watch AEW live only because it's the first show. I have to see it's the first live show, so I got to watch it live. I don't want to see it. NXT, I'll record and watch it after. But, depending on what they do afterwards, the storylines, it's going to be which one I want to watch this week, man.
My rule is this. NXT is going to be on the network in the next day. Right. NXT should have stayed on the network because I loved my viewing habits with that. So now I'm like, well, I'll watch AEW because it's live. And then
what if NXT's having something crazy good? Where it's Adam Cole defending the championship against Velveteen Dream for the title in the main event in a steel cage. You're like, oh, I don't know if I can miss that.
You better be glad my remote control's over there. Back in the day, bro, picture in picture, I'm flipping the channel. I don't have recording anything, so I will flip if I need to. That's how I used to be with WCW. I used to watch the first hour of Nitro, and then as soon as 8:57 hit, I'm like, raw.
So before we go on to SmackDown, you were around the Monday Night Wars. Yeah. How do you keep up with both shows at the same time when something's going good? Example, I don't know if you watch, but if you're watching WCW and said Mankind won the WWE title, you're like, what? Mankind won the WWE title? You gotta flip you flip your hands hold on.
Well, see, I was more of a WWF guy. I always watched more of that. But during commercial breaks, what I would do is if they stagger the commercials right, I would flip over. And then if WCW had something good happening, let's just say the Giants flipping over a car or something, that might be enough to entice me to stay a little bit longer. What's going on over here for a second? Oh, okay. Oh, Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth versus Alex Wright or something's happening now. All right, I'm about to watch this for a second. And then all of a sudden, maybe I'll go back to Raw and I'm like, yo, what's Stone Cold Steve Austin doing breaking into Brian Pillman's house? I'm like, oh, I'm staying here for a minute. Hold on, we're riding this out. So you just got to play it whichever way you want, and as a wrestling fan what you want to see. So be proud of what you're going to watch, man. It's good wrestling, and we as fans are winning right now.
I know, dude. It's insane. And you got to think about it. To me, NXT will be bigger and succeed. To me, I'm not saying bigger than AEW, but as long as Triple H is controlling everything in NXT, it will be great no matter what, man. Because he knows, he knows what to do. He knows what people want. The takeovers are always good. Always delivers with the takeovers. They're always great. The TV stuff, like you said, like with the whole TV stuff thing, I thought the first episode of NXT I thought was great. The brawl at the end was crazy. I thought it was great. The match with Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream was killer. A great match. Great. The fans were into it. The only bad match they had was Aaliyah and Xylee. That was the only kind of bad match they had. But I think with AEW and NXT, they're gonna present people that we haven't seen or familiar with. You know what I mean? So it's like I said in the group chat when Kevin Grimes came out and he had that match and he squashed that person, I was like, oh, hey, Kevin Grimes is really good, man. I don't know if y'all see him, but pay attention to him because he's really good. But then he had that squash match. I'm like, all right, look, you gotta actually see him wrestle. I mean, you gotta see him in the ring because he's actually really good.
And they're building up to that too. There's a reason why Shawn Michaels said all of the people who he thought were great from that tournament, and his people were Cameron Grimes, Jordan Miles, and he even put Isaiah Swerve Scott in there.
Yeah, so, I didn't even use him yet either, man. They still got him down there too, and they got Austin Theory. I forgot about him. They just signed Austin Theory too, bro. So he's big. He was huge and Evolve, bro. He was like their biggest star for a minute. So, but he's gonna be a big star for them too, bro. So they got
young.
He's like 22, 23 years old, man. He's got mass talent down there. So AEW to me is going to be great. I feel like putting the belt on Jericho was the right decision for many reasons. He's the biggest star they got in the company. Everybody knows who Chris Jericho is. He's going to bring eyes to the table. Hangman Page is going to be the future of that company to me. So he's going to have many opportunities where he's going to have the belt. I mean, this may be the only time Jericho wins the belt, to be honest. He may lose the belt and Jericho may be like, I don't need the belt anymore. Like, I don't need it.
The one thing AEW has that I think is a kind of blessing is that they're able to control the narrative at this point. They can kind of tell you, like, listen, we're doing long-term storytelling. Stick with us. WWE has kind of shifted their priorities, but they can always shift back. It's just going to take people longer to adjust back to the way they want to do things. So let me put it like this. Let's say TV14 is working with AEW. WWE is very good at copying someone's style and then adjusting it to fit whatever corporate structure they're in. Like, well, we need sponsors still, so we're going to do this, but we're going to take it and then we're going to present it like this. Like they took an ECW angle with the Sandman being, I'm going to say it, crucified basically, and they put it with the Undertaker, but then when the Undertaker did it, it was a symbol.
Sacrifice. It was a sacrifice symbol.
Correct. And Stephanie was placed on that symbol. It was never said that it was a cross, but it was the same.
They said it was a symbol. Vince, I seen a podcast where JR was like, it's a symbol, damn it. It's not a cross. It's a symbol. So, I mean, either way, Wednesdays are gonna be great every week. If you ask me, it's gonna be like the most exciting time of the week for wrestling to me. Unless Raw and SmackDown become great, but
is this your like must-watch night of wrestling now? Is this like the most exciting night to you for wrestling?
As far as television wise, yes. Like pay-per-view wise, it's different because like when the Royal Rumble, I love the Royal Rumble. So Rumble comes around, like, oh, it's Rumble time, and I mean, I can't wait to see the Rumble. But as far as television wise, this is gonna be crazy. Like I said, I don't know what shows I'm going to watch live every week. It depends
and Cody did it right too with the placement of their pay-per-views on Saturday. Saturday's a better night for me for pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's
you gotta get ready for work. And you're like, oh, dude, come on.
That's smart too. That's smart. You don't want to have it on Sundays either. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to have them choose because you gotta think it wouldn't work for them on Sundays because if all you gotta do is subscribe to the network to watch WWE reviews. You don't have to pay the full price of pay-per-view to watch AEW. You know what I mean? So it's like if you got TLC and they got Full Gear at the same show and people are like, oh, I already got the network, so I'll probably just watch that instead of paying $65 for the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So having it on Saturdays is great. And I think, you could even have their pay-per-views a day before. Like a Rumble, like, hey, we're Rumble Sunday. Well, Saturday we got All Out, whatever they want to call it. We got All Out Saturday. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? So it's like, my thing is, I want to know if they're going to compete with NXT takeovers too. Like, are you going to have your pay-per-views the same week as Takeover is?
Takeover's adjusting their schedules now. It's not going to be the same like it's been. So, and Triple H hasn't announced a new schedule yet. So I can't wait to see like what are they going to pull.
Yeah, I think they're gonna, instead of doing it, I think he said they're gonna stick to like the main big pay-per-views, but I think he wants to do like how they did like the Takeover 25, like have it go like somewhere different places. You know what I mean? Like how they did Takeover London at one point, Takeover London, and have different tickets. That's great. Bring that back. Have it. Do a Takeover Japan, bro. I think Takeover Japan would be crazy. They did Takeover Japan.
Another dope thing too with AEW, I respect Tony Khan for the simple fact that Tony Khan is willing to adjust things too right away. Like they brought in the original announcement was going to be Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Alex Marvez. Alex Marvez, a lot of people gave a negative reaction to. I don't hate the guy. I mean, he was trying to get better. Give him some time. Maybe you put him on the pre-shows. But he's already put him out, and he put Golden Boy in then. Right. Golden Boy did great. I like Golden Boy, actually. I thought he was very good. But now Tony Schiavone's part of the mix. So he's improving. Like, it didn't matter that was his friend or anything. He was like, no, if you're not cutting it, you got to go.
Yeah,
like, you can't be in that spot.
It's about what the fans want, right? He's going to give the fans what. What? Before we start, man, I got to ask you, man. It seems like every week they got this new CM Punk rumor coming out. CM Punk's, he's coming back there. He's got these rumors. I'm like, golly, every week, bro. It's something new with CM Punk, bro. Honestly, to me, this is my opinion, if he ever does come back, which we don't know. He's never going to tell people if he wants to come back. He's never going to let people. He's never going to spoil that fact if he watches wrestling. He could tell people he don't watch wrestling, but he could still. And in his house, you don't know what he does in his house. He could flip through channels and be like, oh, I'm watching SmackDown this week. You know what I mean? So I feel like if he ever comes back, it'll be the greatest comeback in all of pro wrestling history because the fans have never ever gave up on CM Punk. They still chant his name to this day in WWE arenas and NXT arenas. And AEW, they still chant this guy's name to this day. And he's been gone, for 5 years now?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people hate the chants and all that stuff. I will admit at SummerSlam I did start one. But CM Punk's name needs to be kept out there because you're telling the wrestling promoters or whoever's in charge, I still want to see this guy. CM Punk's the last wrestler, I think, right now that could get that big, mega pop at this point. Like, if he comes out, I'm going to, I want someone to record. I said, anybody, if you hear it and he comes out, I'm going to lose it. I'm like, just record me so I can upload it. That's all that I ask. Like, I will lose my freaking mind.
Well, the rumors were, I don't know if you see the rumors, but the rumors were that Fox, he was doing this thing with Fox and he's backstage doing stuff. Like, to me, you can't believe everything's on there, but you never know. But it's like, what if he actually did go back to WWE? Like, how mind blowing would that be? Like, for months, people have been like talking about him just going to AEW, but he shows up on a WWE TV. You be like, there's no way he's showing up on WWE, right?
It's a weird situation to be in because the rumor is CM Punk will work for Fox and do the television show with Renee Young,
right?
And be part of like a 5-person panel, similar to the NFL, how they do it every week,
right.
And so. Basically, when they have those, even for UFC or whatever it is, NFL, you work for Fox. You don't work for the company.
Right. But you got to think, if he does go back to – and he's working with, like, Renee, you got to know they're going to be like, hey, Punk, come on now. Like,
well, you have the relationship that they have with them. I don't know how it works with Fox. But Vince, you got to think, would be upset, too, that if Punk's on his television screen, Punk can say some snide comments and sneak them in there, too, like, yeah, hopefully you don't get fired on your wedding day, and then,
you guys get days off now? That's nice. That must be nice.
Yeah. He could say stuff like that, and it could ruin them. So
I think that's good television, though. That's the one thing about CM Punk is that he always said shit that you just when he said shit, you didn't know if it was a rib or if you didn't know if it was like, bro, like, is he supposed to be saying this or like, is this part of the script? Or, like, is he not? You never knew. Like, you just didn't know. Like, when he's in Triple H's face and he's like, "Is this Phil Brooks talking to Paul?" Like, you're like, "Bro, is that like, did he just say that to say it, or like, is that you didn't know?" Like, I don't know what, like, is it part of the script? It's not part of the script. So it's like, that's what makes it good television. It makes it unique. So it's like, I feel like at some points, I feel like Vince was cool with that I feel like he was really cool with that building up to the Money in the Bank match when he was saying all that stuff because he heard the reaction. Like, all right, well, if he saw the interview at Starrcade, he said, bro, they didn't know the finish until the day of that. Like, Vince was coming to him like, bro, what's the finish? Like, if you're not going to resign, then you can't win, obviously. But, like, what's the finish going to be? Because, like, that whole day, he was talking about the interview. He was like, he didn't sign his contract till that day of Money in the Bank. And nobody knew what the finish was going to be. Even Vince was coming to him times like, bro, what's the finish? Like, you haven't signed the contract. If you're not going to sign the contract, then you can't win. But it's like, if you're going to sign, then let's make this finish so we can get over it. So he's like, all right, sign the contract. So, like, Vince didn't even know what was going on. Vince didn't even know, but he's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, what the finish is. Like, people are going to him, like, Cena's going to him, like, hey, what's the finish? And Vince is like, bro, you got to talk to Punk. I don't know. Like, it's just little things like that. So it's like, that stuff was cool because Vince, I think he said that Vince kind of liked stuff like that. He likes competition. He likes competing. You know what I mean? So he
likes that inner turmoil, the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels thing that we've talked about on your show plenty of times. Like, he likes that. He
likes the headbutting. Yeah, he likes that. That's why the whole Cena thing was good because he said in the interview that at that time he felt like John Cena was kind of he wanted like John Cena wanted somebody to come and take that brass ring and kind of so he could kind of step out of the picture a little bit because he'd been the top guy for like 10 some years, you know what I mean? So he was kind of looking for somebody to come and fill that shoes because I think he said after Rock versus like he was going to main event WrestleMania with The Rock, but after that Cena was kind of looking at it like, dude, this is it. Like I main event WrestleMania against The Rock, bro. This is it. Like I've done everything else. This is the one match he wanted. After this, let me step away and do my little thing. But then they just kept putting him in with John Laurinaitis, and that's the main event. They just kept doing dumb shit. So it's like, whatever. Like, you want me to do this and do that? You know what I mean? I guess. But I mean, it's little things like that. You know what I mean? Like having CM Punk come in and do shoot. It's good when you have people come out and do shoot stuff because you don't know if it's real. That's the best TV right there.
So we talked about the one side. Could CM Punk show up in Washington, D.C.?
You never know, man. I mean, they said they had some surprises. It's hard to see.
You believe Cody? You saw the Cody interview, I assume, with Ryan Satin. Do you believe that?
You talking about how when he said that Punk was lying about how the text message stuff, like the text message?
Yeah. So, like, do you think they're working us? Like, they both could be playing us? Like, they're eating it up, bro. They think we hate each other, or do they really hate each other at this point now? Like, yeah, Punk made us look bad, but they also here's the problem too. Booker T, Cody, and Jericho got to remember they told that bad story about Punk too.
Yeah, about
the jumped in the locker room.
Yeah, the locker room. So here's the thing, though, man. You hear stuff about that with wrestling all the time, but at the end of the day, wrestling is a business. Wrestling is about making money. It's about business. So no matter what, that's why Vince always brings back people. He brought back Bret Hart after all those years. People were like, bro, Bret Hart may never appear on TV. You know what I mean? But after so many periods of time, like, bro, this is business. This is about money. All right, if Punk if he really wanted to come back, if Punk really wanted to come back and they talked, Vince would bring him back. He would be like, bro, this is business. Let's do this business. Let's make this money. That's what I'm saying. Thing. He would have to talk to like Hunter. Hey, look, Hunter. I don't care what you and him got together. I'm bringing him back. You know what I'm saying? He's coming back.
I think there's a better chance of it happening now with Vince still in charge than if Hunter was the only one in charge. Because I think there's certain people who are Team Hunter. There's Team Vince, and I'm just like, Vince can fix this. I don't know if Hunter can. And it's kind of like the stuff.
See, I think
like with Bruno. When Bruno Sammartino went to the Hall of Fame, I'm like, Triple H can fix this. Let him. Yeah. But Vince cannot. And now it's flipped this time. Now I'm like, Vince and Punk can talk. Triple H is not Punk's boy, though. He's like, I don't like him. So
I think Triple H is kind of gonna step into. He's got to step into the Vince mindset now. Where he got to realize business is business. You know what I mean? Because he's doing NXT, so it's like, bro, you got to learn from that. Like, despite the grudges you may have for people, if that's what the fans want, bro, bring him back. You know what I mean? That's what the fans want. They've been chanting his name for 5 years now. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you got to put them two in a room together, like how they did with Austin and Vince, like, Austin, you walked out. Hey, if I get you and Vince in a room, you guys want to talk? And like, yeah, sure. Put us in a room together. Talk about your bullshit. Let's CM Punk, like, this get everything out. Like, hey, bro, fuck you for not putting me over Night of Champions when you killed my team. That was bullshit. And you buried me. I believe you buried me. Whether you want a minute or not. You don't got to say it, but I know you did. And Triple H can say, like, bro, I think you're shitty. It's whatever you want. Say whatever you want. Just let it get out there in the room. You don't have to speak about it after because fans don't need to know everything. So after that's over, you don't need to put it on public. Hey, let's do this business. This is business. Let's work together. Triple H is not competing anymore. So it's like, Punk can do his thing. Triple H can do his thing. He's in NXT. Business is business. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, you got to do what's best for business sometimes, man. So it's like,
I feel like another match between them would be inevitable, though, too. Like, you would have to do it at this point. Like, people would want to.
At the end of the day, I think you would know who would win, though. CM Punk would win. You know what I mean? So it's like, because the match at WrestleMania, Triple H even told it. They even said that you're gonna beat Triple H at WrestleMania. Punk was like, bro, fuck that. I don't need to fight Triple H, bro. Triple H needs to fight me. Like, I don't need that match, bro.
It's kind of like people want to see Shane versus Triple H too. I think, like, because Shane, there's something brewing. Like, Shane doesn't like him. There's just certain matches that you're like, I gotta see this at least one more time.
I feel like I don't know if you've seen the pod before we get to SmackDown, but the podcast when he was talking about the Starcade stuff, he was like, "Bro, this is the funny." When he said this, I thought of you, bro. This is why you hate Triple H. I understand why you hate Triple H, but when he said it, I was like, "Bro, this is why he hates Triple H." So like, it was so funny, bro, because the Buffalo match and Night of Champions, or like he was so hot and everything, and the finish, the finish was Triple H was going to beat him, and he came to him and Triple H told him the finish, and he was like, "What? Is this the finish?" And he said, "Yeah, I talked to Vince, but this is what Vince want to do." And he was saying some bullshit like, I try to get the finish change from it. He was like, oh, you try to get the finish change. So you tell me you don't have enough power to change the finish of the match when John Cena wanted to put me over at Money in the Bank. And all he had to do was go to Vince and say, hey, I'm putting him over. And then it was done right there. Done. Got it done. But you are the COO, and you don't have the power to put over. You don't have the power to switch the finish. So okay, that's what I mean. It's fine. Whatever. We can go out here and do whatever.
At least you know I make sense now when I say this stuff.
I understand your point. You know what I mean? He just, saying he was just lying to him. Like, bro, like you went to Vince, try to get, you couldn't get. You telling me John Cena has more power than you? I bet you're saying John Cena has more power than you, and you're the CEO of the company. Because when John Cena wanted to switch this, when John Cena wanted to do this, we got it done. But when you wanted to do it, Vince was like, I don't know. I don't think we can do that. You know what I mean?
It was no different too. They had no direction with the Kevin Nash stuff. Like I said, I'll do a podcast on it one day. It'll be like an hour long.
It was weird, man, but you got to listen to it. I'll listen to it on YouTube, the whole thing.
If he comes back, I'll lose my shit. If he doesn't, I'm sorry. Like I want him to, but if he doesn't, I'm not crying about it anymore at this point. Like it's up to Punk.
If he comes, you got to think though. If he comes back, his wife's got to come with him. You know what I mean? Like that would be even crazier. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine him come out, then you hear that she comes out skipping to the ring. You're like, oh my gosh! You know what I'm saying? They're together. It's good television. It's good television. Whether he goes to WWE or AEW, he's gonna get a pop regardless because people know who he is. So once you hear that Culture personality, you're gonna be like, "Hey, CM Punk," you know what I mean? So, like I said, if he comes back, I think it is gonna be the best comeback of all time. I mean, like I said, I can't remember a wrestler who left the company and 5 years later, people are still buzzing about this guy. Like, bro, when are you coming back? When you coming back? You know what I'm saying? When you come back? Even with The Rock left all this year, but it still wasn't like that. It's still like people were chanting his name in arenas every week. It was like, bro, like once Rock started getting big in movies, people were like, all right, I guess Rock's never coming back. You know what I mean? So let's hop into SmackDown real quick before we head on to this. We got I think it's still 2 hours, correct? So it's still 2 hours SmackDown on Fridays, live on Fridays now. They won't be taping on Tuesdays anymore because I've seen a couple. I work at the airport, so I've seen a couple of guys that like cameraman and work at the airport. I've talked to them, and they're like, "No, this is gonna be live. Like this is live on SmackDown every week, live television. So we will be filming live on SmackDowns. New pyro, new set. You got Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. How do you think this is gonna turn out? Do you think Lesnar is taking the title because that's what Fox wants? Do you think Kofi? Do you think maybe an interference can happen? Somebody's gonna come out and interfere and start a feud with Lesnar and maybe move him in a different direction, or how do you see things going on with this?
You could go a lot of different ways. I think it just comes down to the draft. Like, where do you want Brock to be? Is he guaranteed to be? Like, to me, if you get the Fiend, you can't have Brock too. Like, you can't.
That's what I'm saying, but you can't have both on SmackDown, man.
But $1 billion talks, bro. That's all I'm saying. USA had the chance to give $1 billion too. So it just depends on what they're gonna do, man. As far as Kofi goes, I'm just gonna say this: I hate people who have been like crapping on Kofi Kingston's title reign. He's been booked as a strong world champion. I'm happy for Kofi. I know some people are like, why did he still have to throw the pancakes out? That's what got him to the dance. Like, that's what brought him there. And Vince loves that. The man sold boxes of cereal. He has made straight guap. I said guap. He's been making bread for that company for quite some time. They're not going to take away what's been making them the money. Kofi Kingston went through a hard time when he was doing the Trouble in Paradise stuff, and then he lost the push. For years, he was stuck in that mid-card tag team crap that he was stuck doing, whether it was Air Boom, teaming with R-Truth. They were just kind of like there. And I love Air Boom, by the way. And he was just there, stuck. And then he finally gets New Day. And they fought for it. They asked for it. They're like, listen, we can make this work. Just give us the chance. They did it their way. Vince gave in, and Vince loved it. Let Kofi be the man. Now, if he loses to Lesnar, will I be mad? No, not at all. I completely get it. He's had a great title reign, and it's good to see the first ever African WWE champion.
Well, you got to think about it, though. Hell in a Cell is Sunday, so, like, if Brock wins, what the fuck happens at Hell in a Cell?
I think all right, so here's my prediction. I think New Day is going to come out and interfere, and this is going to lead to a rematch with
at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if they did like the Kofi Kingston gets the upset win, but New Day helped screw over Brock. Then they put him either maybe in a cell match to keep New Day out or whatever, or Brock hires some equalizers, maybe the Authors of Pain get paid, and they come out to make sure that New Day doesn't interfere. And you got to let these guys just work. And F5, I think Brock's getting the belt by next week. Before that draft, Brock will have.
So you think Brock is going to be champion again? Like you think he's for sure.
Brock's going to win the belt, but I just think it's going to be at the pay-per-view, not right away.
He's going to win it and hold it to WrestleMania, like he always does. Huh? Like
yep.
I mean, I want to ask your opinion on Brock real quick. This is my thing. As as a businessman, I gotta respect Brock Lesnar. One of the smartest wrestling business minds ever. This guy gets what he wants. He gets paid what he believes he's getting paid for. He's earned everything he's got at this point. I mean, he left him. You got to think, when he was in WWE full time, he left them when they offered him mad money, like mad money. He was like, bro, I don't care about the money. I'm done with this wrestling stuff. This full time schedule ain't for me. He left a lot of money on the table. Went to UFC, did his thing UFC, came back as a bigger name, and he's been doing part time. He's been killing it ever since been involved in important stuff. Been doing part time stuff. Brock is smart at getting what he wants to get. From a fan side, of course, nobody wants to see him as the champion again because he's never there. So nobody wants to see him as the champion again. But we understand from a business perspective that Brock Lesnar as the champion is gonna draw money. It's gonna do things that they want them to do. So my thing is that I think he's gonna be champion too. I don't know if he wins Friday or not, because my thing is that Brock Lesnar is supposed to be the quote unquote beast of WWE. Well, he's lost twice this year to Seth Rollins. And he did Seth Rollins a favor at WrestleMania and did him a favor at SummerSlam. All right, I'm putting you over because obviously they want you to run. Let's be the guy for Raw. Brock Lesnar losing to Kofi Kingston though, I can't see it. I can't do it. I can't.
That Beast in the East too. Like, you gotta remember, he just destroyed him at that show. Maybe New Day just gets DQ'd too. Like, maybe they just come in, they put a beat down on him.
I feel I don't think Lesnar will mind losing. I mean, he lost, like I said, he lost to Rollins twice. I mean, I think it matters to him. I mean, it feels like, I feel like in his mind, it kind of you gotta protect that beast. You know what I mean? Like, how many times can he lose before he's like he's still the beast? Okay, how is he the beast if he lost to Kofi Kingston, Seth Rollins, and Brock Lesnar? I mean, come on now. He destroys Braun Strowman, but he lost to these guys 3 times in 1 year. Come on, bro. Like, how is he still supposed to be the beast? You know what I mean? So you got to protect that image still, kind of like with the Fiend. You got to protect that stuff, man. You got to protect Lesnar's image. You got to protect how he does things. He doesn't necessarily have to lose to Kofi. Well, like I said, New Day could come out, interfere. Like, hey, Kofi could get his ass. Brock Lesnar could be destroying him. You know what I mean? And New Day could come out and say, bro, we're not watching this. You know what I'm saying? We're going to help our boy out. You know what I mean? We're not about to let him go out like that, something like that. So I feel like he will win the championship, though. I don't know if he's going to be on SmackDown because it's kind of hard, man. His matches are really hard to predict. Like, does he win? Does he lose? Does he get a draw? Does something? It's kind of hard to predict.
Let me ask you this. Does Kofi lose his main event spot once he loses the belt?
Probably, yeah. I feel like they'll probably go back to the tag team stuff, maybe. It'll probably be just, them doing the tag team stuff, kissing babies and all that stuff they were doing before. I mean, I feel like Kofi had a good run in the main event spot. And I'm saying we're going into October and he's still the WWE champion. And he won the title back in April. So, I mean, he's had a good run. He's been the champion for a minute. So they gave him a good solid run. And maybe they do give him maybe they do put the belt back on him again at least once. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe they don't necessarily take him away from the main event spot. But I feel like once he loses it, it probably will start to die down a little bit because you got to think once Lesnar gets the championship, who's going to be him? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to take the title from him? You got to have somebody to take the title from him, and who's he going to be? You know what I'm saying? If you have Bray Wyatt on Raw, it can't be Bray Wyatt. Nobody wants to see Roman Reigns again. They've done that before. Nobody wants to see that anymore. So, like, who else do you have that people will care about? Daniel Bryan, maybe. Maybe Daniel Bryan. I could people see maybe get behind that. But depending on whether this is, what do you think about let's go to the Daniel Bryan stuff. The whole Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Luke Harper Wise. Do you think it's a swerve for Daniel Bryan?
I smell a rat in all of this.
So you think at Hell in a Cell that Daniel's going to turn on Roman and they're going to all be together like a group, like a faction?
Right. They said that they're going to say they had to make it look real. He told them to beat him up, and then he's going to say, but we always all planned this together to take down Roman Reigns because he's the big dog. And then Roman's going to have to fight his way back through them all.
So who do you think helps Roman? The Usos, probably, since they're going to be on SmackDown too?
They could return. That wouldn't be a bad spot for them.
Well, they already announced that they're going to be on SmackDown. Like, they've already come out and said Usos will be on SmackDown Friday. Like, they're coming back on TV. So, I mean, that's the only team that makes sense to me. I mean, they're related, for God's sake. So, I mean, I can't think of anybody else. But
yeah, that'd be dope to have the Usos do that then.
Usos, in fact, what is that? Well, I guess since the whole Brock Lesnar stuff, the whole Randy Orton stuff is dead, because I was digging the Randy Orton revival stuff. Like, I was like, bro, I'm behind that. They put them together.
I think the draft just got everything in this funk because they made gear. I thought it was a good little crew that they had with it, and now I feel like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and they're gonna wait and see what happens with the plans for the draft because where did the revival wind up? They're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions now, so I don't know. There's a lot of question marks up in the air.
So what are you hoping before? Because I want to talk about Hell in a Cell for a little bit before we get off this. where do you hope that Raw and SmackDown kind of go from this? Besides them being two separate, because we know we want them to be two different things. Both shows going on, one on two different TV shows, going two different places now. What do you think they have to execute on right now? Like as a right, like you gotta hit this mark, man.
Change. You have to show the fans that you have changed your ways, whether it is from commentary to in-ring performance, focus on storylines, focus on putting up new people. Do your tag divisions matter? Is the 24/7 title still a thing? Is it going to be on one brand? What are we doing about this? Like, maybe you put it on Raw only because they have 3 hours. Like, you have to figure out what you're doing and how to make people feel important at this point.
You said one thing in there. I can't remember what it was. It was in my head. I wanted to get through it. But what do you think about John Morrison? They said John Morrison is re-signed with WWE. He's coming back to WWE. So where does he go?
Johnny Mundo can go wherever he wants. I feel like he's going to be treated in that like mid-card Shelton Benjamin kind of spot, though. I don't know. Like, if they treated Shelton kind of like lower mid-card, I think Morrison, maybe he'll be like upper mid-card. Maybe he'll be like a Lashley, but I don't know.
How would you feel about him going to NXT if he appeared on NXT?
That would be dope. Another thing I wouldn't mind seeing would be him and The Miz reuniting.
As a tag team, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool because Miz is kind of stuck in this purgatory as a babyface.
Yeah, Miz is kind of stuck right now too. So
why not bring them back, or maybe add Maurice to the act, or Taya if she's a bit. I don't know. I think she's still with Impact, but
she's still with Impact, I believe, as of now. But I'll be down for that. Him and Miz as a tag team. They were former tag team champions. They were a good tag team together too. So I mean,
it could lead to a future story of a breakup again too. However you guys want to do it, but I think you could do something with them.
Man, I feel like I would rather see him in NXT though, man. I think he would do better stuff in NXT. I feel like if he came back to Raw and SmackDown, they would use him for a minute because he just came back and it's fresh. But then it'd be like, John Morrison is back. Who cares?
And it just depends on how well can he talk now. I've seen him on Lucha Underground, but that stuff's all taped. So yeah. How good is he now? But I always thought that he was really good and underutilized. Like, him going away was the smartest thing for his career at that point. Like, he didn't really...
It's crazy. When they first broke up, I looked at John Morrison as like Shawn Michaels, Miz is like Marty Jannetty. Like, didn't see Miz like doing anything crazy, and then Miz became the bigger star. I was like, whoa, like what happened to John Morrison, man? Like,
I just feel like everything fell into place for Miz better too, though. Like, I think
Miz has honestly, he's probably better than Morrison. Like, he's better on the mic, cuts better promos. In ring wise,
no.
Morrison, I would say Morrison better in ring, but Miz, Miz can bring emotion out of matches like that. He can bring stuff out of matches with promos and everything because Miz on the mic is really good, man.
I just think some of those stories that Morrison's told in the ring on Lucha Underground are things that people have missed out. If you have never seen him as Johnny Mundo, go back and watch that. He was the Impact Wrestler. He was basically the face of Impact Wrestling for months, almost a year. Like,
yeah, I didn't see stuff. I mean, I saw him in Impact, but I didn't pay attention to it as much, because
he just carried the brand. So I think he's in a different spot now, like to where he's been carrying. So it's kind of like, let's see where his ego is now.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about Hell in a Cell because it's Sunday. So I just want to hop straight into the main event real quick before we hop into other things. You got Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins for the Fiend versus, the Architect, whatever. This is it's unpredictable to me, man. I don't see how it goes. Obviously, you can't have Bray Wyatt lose. It doesn't make any sense to have him lose. But Seth, we talked about earlier, Seth just won the belt. Are they going to put the belt on him this early? Are they going to execute, like I said, are they going to execute this early when he's hot, before he dies off and everything, before people get tired of him? How do you see this turning out, man? And do you see it maybe being a squash? Do you see violence? You think it's going to be kind of violent, brutal match, like a bloody match, kind of?
I don't think you need to do that without like gimmicking it up, if you know what I mean. Like, I think you'd have to like dump blood on Seth or something to get that kind of reaction. But I feel like this match should be one of those Lesnar Goldberg-esque matches. I don't know what's the right word for it, but do you know what I mean? How the main events have been with even Rollins. They do like the boom, 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 break. Boom, 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 boom. Like, they never stop. They never let up off the gas. And I think they need to have one of those. And maybe Rollins eventually goes for his curb stomp. Bray kicks out. Everyone's like, whoa, that usually doesn't happen. And then Rollins goes for another one, and maybe he goes flying up in the air, but then when he comes down, he is met with the mandible claw, and there ain't nothing he can do about it. And it's just like, you have to build Bray up as this unstoppable monster, and there's nobody. And listen, when I say nobody, I mean nobody who could stop this dude. And you're gonna have to figure out who you want to build up from that.
That's how I feel, man. That's why I think him beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania would have been great to me. I mean, that would have made him look like a real monster right there. Beat the beast right there. So I mean, it's like what? I think that would have been good stuff for him. But if you had to call it, who's winning? Who's walking out the champion?
Bray
Wyatt.
I think you have to. You booked yourself into a corner. It's got to be Bray.
So where does he go from afterwards? Does he go back to Rollins again, or does he move on to Strowman? Because he did attack Strowman on Raw. So
you've got a out. I think this year you skipped the champion versus champion match at Survivor Series. I don't think you do Rollins and Lesnar. I don't think you have to
do. I don't think you should do Raw versus SmackDown this year. I don't think it's necessary to me. I think you just do their own things.
Yeah, let them do their own, like they used to, like in the 03 style matches. Let them do their own and let them rock. I think Strowman's the next challenger then.
So do you mean after he attacked Raw? Do you think maybe Strowman interferes in the Hell in a Cell? Like he just kicks on the door.
Strowman can do something the next night, and they build to kind of a big match is Crown Jewel the next pay per view, or is it Survivor Series?
Survivor Series is the next American. Maybe they are going back to Crown Jewel though. So
I think you can do something with that. I don't even know if Bray's character will be allowed to perform over there either. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's on the poster, but I was like, is Bray? Are they gonna let him go over there? Like, I don't know, man.
I think you could have it where Braun maybe like throws him through something. You can have it where Braun is the first person to put a dent in his armor. Like, maybe he could beat him. And then the problem is Braun can't afford a loss again.
That's what I'm saying. And you got to think, man. Fans are just so. We're in an era where fans is like, I feel like they complain about everything that goes on in wrestling. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, bro, Raw could be a good show, but there could be that one little thing like, Lacey Evans made that botch sharpshooter, something that doesn't really matter that much. I'm like, bro, like you just saw like an epic match, something like that, but you're like, doesn't even matter. Like it's not even important to the story. Like it had no story. That was just one match. You know what I mean? Like just one match happened. I feel like fans complain about everything. I feel like if Braun Strowman, if he gave 3 body slams to Bray Wyatt in the ring, they'd be like, oh my god, they're gonna bury the Fiend already. Like I was like, bro, like come on, man, like. I haven't even seen what's gonna happen next week, bro. Like this is part of the story. Like I feel like people can't get invested in the stories anymore, man. That bothers me. Like, bro, storytelling in wrestling is super important. It's super important.
I think they need to readjust that focus. That's part of what I was talking about with the change, though. You have to readjust people's focus and say, look, we're going to be doing more stories. Things are going to take longer to develop. Be patient. It will happen. Just watch.
When's the last?
I think AEW's been doing a better job of that than
yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I hope from AEW, bro. Let the stories last a minute. You know what I mean? Like the whole, bringing back Moxley. The match supposed to happen. This could be even better now. The match that didn't happen. I'm saying like the match that they can do now with Full Gear, like the Moxley Omega match that didn't happen, that was supposed to happen. You could build a story from that even afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think they're gonna be having pay-per-views as much often as WWE does. They might have pay-per-views like every 2 months, something like that. So. You can continue the story to the TV. Have the story continue. I can't think of the last time the story where I was invested in a story that lasted a period of time. I mean, it was like this, like lasted months and months and months, and they had that big epic match where it was like, hey, this is the be all end all. This is where y'all wanted this. This is the big match. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people can't invest in the story as much as they would. That's super important, man. Storytelling is very important to wrestling. The match is great. You do the storytelling, do the match, but you can't have a story without. Sometimes the stories are just there and they tell itself. Like the history of things. But like, if you're doing something new, like with Bray and Strowman, they have a story there. But it's like, bro, like if Bray gets thrown off the stage into a table and everything explodes, like, bro, like, don't hop on Twitter bashing WWE saying fuck the WWE because he just buried Bray Wyatt. Like, bro, like. No, like Braun Strowman is a monster too, bro. Like
I just think you could let this go until the Rumble with Bray and him. Like just let Strowman look strong, and maybe Bray's uncertain of himself, but Braun's still a little fearful of him because he doesn't know what to expect. And then maybe you have Bray pull out something that's unexpected. Maybe he has a minion with him inside the clubhouse. Yeah. He finally gets his first person that joins him. Maybe it's Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. You don't know. You can do a lot of different things.
This is what I said about the Rumble too. Remember how I told you about how building him up, like having him beat everybody that beat him. Vince is all about first things ever, first times ever, right? Doing something for first time ever. how cool would it have been to have Bray come out after everybody's already been out? Like number 30 has already been there, have him pop up in the ring and insert himself into the Rumble and just destroy everybody and win. Just come out with the lights off. Everybody's in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in the Rumble, like, because obviously people would expect him. So, like, say he wasn't in a match. And people were like, where's Bray at? Number 30 comes out. It's fucking Roman Reigns. People are like, oh, my God, he's not coming out this year. People won't think he's coming out, whatever. Have it come down like the final 6, you know what I mean? And the lights go out. And he just comes in the ring and he just destroys everybody. And then wins the Rumble. And then it's like, bro, he just won the Rumble, but he wasn't in the match. You know what I mean? That's the first time ever that's ever happened. You know what I mean? So he's like, the character would fit well. I think it would fit well for him. Because, like, what are they going to say, like, next week? You know what I mean? Like, Bray. And then you could do the Fight for Fun and stuff where Bray's coming like, I'm so sorry for attacking everybody in the Rumble and, you know, doing the whole, like, gimmicky fun. But then it's like, you know, he can get serious and, like, the Fiend does what he wants to do or something like something like crazy like that. You know what I mean?
It's a good character that you can base it off of, and it's horror film like because it's like one minute he's the nicest dude in the world, you're like, oh, that's really cool, and then, oh, he's creepy as hell.
Yeah. Like I like the stuff they do with the lights, with the flashing lights and like the little sound effect stuff. It's like, bro, like it looks good on TV though. Like I'm sure when you're there, it's kind of like me. Like when you're on TV and they do like the flashing lights, and he got the man in the call. He's like, you ever heard him like he's screaming on the camera, and he's screaming, and he laughs, and he screams, and he laughs. He's like, bro, like. And then he has I didn't catch if you notice in the theme how it says like hurt heel, like in the theme song, and he's like holding them up to his ears because like once I said hurt, once I said heel, but he's kind of like figure out which one he wants to listen to. Like that's good stuff, bro. Like that's good stuff. That's good TV stuff, man. Mm-hmm. So there's so many things you can do with that. Before we end it, I want to ask you, what do you think about Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch? Before we end it, what do you think about this stuff?
Sasha's time, man. Let it rock. I don't think there's anyone for Becky to face except for Ronda, and if Ronda ain't coming back, let the boss lady win it, man.
So you think it's cool for Becky to take the L at home? So you think it's acceptable for the fans to be like, all right, you know, I'm happy Sasha got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't have an issue with Sasha. I don't know what everyone's problem is. I did see this whole Seth Rollins deleted his Twitter stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, what was up with that? I've seen something like that too. I think from what I heard, Sasha threw a shot at him, or he deleted his Twitter or something like that. I don't know what it is. And people were coming at Sasha too, like her injuring people and like I don't know if you've seen the stuff that she did with like the
yeah, I think I saw the foul tweet you're talking about where someone said something that was like way out of line about it.
Yeah, like she did the Chronicle stuff on the network and she was crying about like people were mad at her about injuring Paige, and she was like, bro, it's wrestling, it happens. Like she never meant to do it. But then they showed the video of like her kicking Alexa Bliss on the apron, like when she like did like this. It was like a kick that was like, bro, like, why she kick her like that? You know what I mean? But it's like people are coming at her bad, like, you know, having her like, bro, that's part of the character, bro. Like she's supposed to be like, I want that character back from NXT when she was like, you know, like when she ripped up that fans, when she took that Bayley sign and ripped it up in front of her face and threw it at that little girl. The little girl was crying. I was like, bro, that's huge.
It's wrestling now too. That girl is a wrestler now. That's crazy.
Oh, that girl's an actual wrestler?
Yeah, she's been training for probably a year or two now.
Really? I didn't know. I thought she was a little girl. Maybe
she is.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, Sasha needs to be a real heel. I feel like she hasn't really tapped into that other character yet. My problem is Sasha's character has always been like this. Like it stayed the same. Like she was a heel, and then she became a face, and then she kind of just stayed in the same realm of her heel.
What do you think about her and Bayley? So, I mean, are you digging that, or are you?
Yeah, I think Bayley is going to eventually show her true colors. Bayley's in that Bo Dallas type of heel. Like she thinks she's righteous in everything that she does, but she's really a heel. Let Bayley rock with it, man. It'd be cool to see them both as the champs, and maybe you have them fight for the women's tag titles. I don't know.
Charlotte's on there too. I mean, don't they got a Fatal 4 on? They got a Fatal 4 on the SmackDown show, I think, between those four. So I mean,
yeah, it's gonna be good. What about tag match? Tag match.
A tag match. Okay, the tag match. At some point, I feel like at some point you have to have those 4 main event at WrestleMania. I mean, it only makes sense for those 4 to be the main event at WrestleMania. All 4 of them, the biggest 4 stars in the wrestling for the women's division in a long time. Like that would just make a lot of sense.
It's weird too this year. Normally you hear like what Vince is thinking of the main event. I've heard it for years, like, oh, it's gonna be Brock Roman, and then we knew the next year.
No idea what it is this year. Nothing. I heard nothing, bro.
So we don't know who's gonna main event at this point. Maybe
I don't think he knows. It's like, bro, like what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like I don't, because he doesn't have a top guy where he's like, bro, Roman's the top guy, John Cena's the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rock. He doesn't have a top guy where like, bro, it's the main event. So it's like, bro, he's got to mix it up now. Fans want to see different stuff, you know. So it's like, bro, have AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. They've never been the main event, or Daniel Bryan, but AJ Styles have AJ Styles, Seth Rollins. Those two never been the main event. I mean, they deserve those spots. I mean, especially those guys. They got to get that spot before they retire sometime. Have the Fiend in the main event. Supposedly, Undertaker has said that he wants to work with Drew McIntyre and he wants to work with Bray Wyatt again. So it's like, bro, like, imagine if Undertaker's last match was against Bray Wyatt and it was at WrestleMania. That would solidify him right there instantly, bro. The Fiend just ended the career of the Undertaker, bro. Like, solidify it instantly, bro. Instantly. Undertaker would do it. So that would submit everything. That could be the main event right there. That would be a main event right instantly right there. So you don't really know, man. It's a weird time in wrestling. You don't really know what the main event is because Ronda's not there right now. So it's like,
and things could change too with the competition. If they're heating up, you got to heat up, and then you don't know what's going to happen, man. Things could get a lot better or a lot worse, and it's kind of an interesting time to be a fan, like you said.
All right, last thoughts. Run me through this week. What are your thoughts about this week? It's exciting overall, but what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to watching wrestling and hopefully not seeing like a toxic environment. Let's enjoy it, man. As wrestling fans, I'm excited about Monday Night Raw. I never say that. I never, ever, ever, ever say that. I promise you. I loathe doing Raw reviews for quite some time. I did it because my audience wanted me to do it. And they're like, oh, you got to let me know if the show was good or bad. And then they usually come on and we're crapping on Raw. That's not fun all the time. I want to go into Raw feeling like, okay, this is what they're doing now. Cool. I can't wait to see what happens with the draft. And I'm excited to see the draft too. I want a sports feel for the draft. I want a draft that's going to be like, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, we're going to get this. This is like the taste to me. Like, this is the cheese and crackers. I'm waiting for the steak next week once they start putting people on the shows. And okay,
so the draft is next week, correct?
Yes.
So it starts on SmackDown though.
Yes, SmackDown gets it first.
So SmackDown. So the draft is like a 2-week thing, and then because it's like SmackDown this week, then Raw has it next week. So it's like
you gotta wait, and then Raw will get it after that. So
I think it's just better to have them on one show and have it like have it like a sports field. Have them come out and pick people like they used to. Like, for my first pick, I'm taking Seth Rollins for my first pick, and it's like, bro, and you can't tell like, from what I heard, wrestlers don't know like where they're going. Like, they don't have no idea like what brand they're going to. Like, they wanted to be a secret. They want the surprise. So it was like, bro, they don't know. Like, Becky Lynch don't know if she's going to Raw, SmackDown. So it's like Becky Lynch is on SmackDown. You know what I mean? So it's like another thing too is you got to watch out for is that a lot of wrestlers are dating nowadays. So it's like, yo, like, what if Charlotte is on Raw but Andrade's on SmackDown? Like, is that gonna fly? Like, you saw what they did with when they switched it up with. They already switched it up, didn't they? Because Andrade was on Raw and Charlotte was on SmackDown, and then all of a sudden it's brought Andrade back to SmackDown. Like, oh, Andrade's on SmackDown again. Like, why? Yeah. Like, just on Raw last week. Like, why is he on SmackDown? Oh, we didn't Charlotte. That makes sense.
And I say let trades happen and stuff too. I missed that. Like when Triple H at one point went to SmackDown and he was part of Evolution, then all of a sudden they were like, no. Triple H came back after we traded 3 people for him to SmackDown. Like,
they got 3 solid people. Dudley Boyz and Booker T. It was like 3 solid people. Like, oh, okay, 3 solid picks. I'm cool with that. So
yeah,
I think trades happen. Like, maybe like, hey, we traded Daniel Bryan for, Roman Reigns, something like that. Like, I'm down with that. But my thing is, I want to see the brand stay the same at least for like 3 years, man. Don't switch it up every year and have people like keep it the same for like at least 2-3 years. Keep it the same for a while. Where there's no reason you can switch it up every year unless you're just making it stale. Where the product is like, bro, like, we're tired of seeing Seth Rollins in the main event versus Braun Strowman every week. Like, bro,
elevating though. I think that's their problem is you have to elevate other guys to take those spots.
Maybe that's what we get from the draft. I mean, I'm saying, like, if we get that from the draft, like I said, they haven't even done anything with Drew McIntyre in a minute. What happened to his team, dude?
He got injured.
Oh, he got hurt? Okay.
Yeah, so I think he was like taking care of that, and he could come back during the draft. It was kind of a perfect time thing. He went away for a little bit. Now when people see him again, they'll be like, oh, okay, Drew's ready? Yeah.
What about the Kevin Owens stuff, too? The ladder match? Kevin Owens?
I forgot about that. Kevin and Shane, that's going to be good.
The ladder match? What do you think Kevin goes? Because obviously Kevin Owens is going to win. Where does he go from there now? Like, what is
I don't know. I don't know with a lot of this. Like, is Kevin Owens a main eventer? Are they trying to make him Stone Cold? It's weird. I don't know what to think with that.
You think maybe they can do him and Lesnar?
That's possible. That's a fresh match.
So that's something I haven't seen before. I'm saying Kevin Owens can do a lot of stuff with Brock Lesnar too. They can do a lot of different stuff together in the ring. If Lesnar's willing to make it happen, I mean, if they can make it happen, they can make something happen out of it. So
hang out in Canada too. They're both in Canada. They can both kind of, work out the match how they want to do it.
Yeah, they can come up with good ideas and everything and stuff like that. So I'm with you, man. I'm excited this weekend and tomorrow. I'm excited for all. It's been weeks since I've been excited for all, but months, years maybe since I've been excited for all. But it's quote unquote season premiere. They got stuff they haven't announced for. Like I'm excited for Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins. Even though I know Seth Rollins is gonna win, it's a fresh match that we haven't seen yet. It's new.
I want to see them tear it up too. I feel like Seth looks up to Rey a little bit,
Yeah, I think this is a match he's kind of won it for a minute. So it's like even we know Rey Mysterio is not gonna win. It's a fresh match. We haven't seen it yet.
But don't be surprised if they pull out some surprises too. What if you just switch it? Everything's gonna change in a week or two anyway.
Right. You never know either. I mean, different things could happen. Surprises. I'm expecting surprises. With AEW show, like we said, we don't know who Chris Jericho's partners are. We don't know. Supposedly they only have 40% of the roster now, so we don't know who else they got coming out with the roster. NXT got great match coming from NXT SmackDown. They're going all out with the SmackDown show for the first SmackDown on Fox, and then you got Hell in a Cell too. So I think it's gonna be an exciting time, man. I feel like once 2020 hits the Rumble, my thing I hope this year is the Rumble is unpredictable. Like I said, the last couple of years, you kind of knew, like you knew Seth was gonna win. Like, Seth Rollins is gonna win. Shinsuke the couple years before. Like, I want this year. Like, you have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, bro, I don't know who's gonna win. You can't call it. Make it interesting that way, and make it fresh. Make it different. That way, whoever wins, it's like, bro. Like, say if Drew McIntyre won, you're like, bro, Drew McIntyre's going to WrestleMania. Who's gonna
have Rumble qualifiers mean something too for the brands? You only get 15 each. Let 30 guys from each brand fight in one-on-one matches. Like, this is a Royal Rumble qualifier. Like, if you lose, you're not in, bro.
Yeah, and make it how it felt back. The winner can choose where he wants to go. Like how Benoit, like, bro, I'm going to Raw because I want the world title. And I mean, like, if Drew wins and he's on Raw, have him tease like, bro, I may go to SmackDown and fight Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may want the WWE title, bro. Like,
use that chamber as the opportunity to put someone else in. Then you got to qualify all over again. Now you're going to be in the elimination chamber to fight.
I like the last time they did that with Batista when he was with Evolution, and they were teasing like him going to SmackDown and stuff like that. Like, hey, is he gonna fight Triple H, or is he gonna go fight John Cena and JBL at WrestleMania? Like, have it interesting, man. There's so many things you can do, especially with AEW nowadays. I feel like they got to pick it up because AEW, I feel like, is gonna bring a lot of steam where they know kind of what fans want as hardcore. I think AEW is going to lean towards more the hardcore, edgier fans because they know that's gonna get more views in the product. You see, like how Tony Khan just switched out people in the announce team, like, "Hey, bro, you're getting complaints. You gotta come out."
I want to say around Double or Nothing, they said they have written like 6 to 8 months already of like the storylines. Like,
so it's like, I feel like they're gonna do more of the edgy. Like, we all know WWE's, they got sponsors with Make-A-Wish, cancer products, and all that stuff. So they got to commit to the PG stuff a little bit too. Which I understand it, but I feel like AEW, they don't have any sponsor. They ain't got no sponsor or anything like that. So they're gonna lean toward more the edgier product where you're gonna see blood in matches. Like you say, if Chris Jericho gets hit in the face with a ladder, he's gonna start bleeding, and then you're gonna be like, bro, that's it makes the match feel more real. It makes you feel more intense. I mean, like, bro, he's bleeding. That's cool stuff, bro. Like, it makes it feel more real. It makes it feel more intense. It makes the match come out, stand out more. You know what I mean? So I feel like with AEW being a little bit more edgier, WWE, Vince may be like, hey, you guys want to get some color, man, go ahead and get some color in the match. You know what I mean? Maybe not too much. Not like Dustin was at Double or Nothing.
That was a lot.
That was too much. But like, hey, if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna, get your face rammed into an electric pot and it blows up, get some color going in there, man. Make it feel more real. So I think that's what they're missing. The real stuff too, missing. I miss that stuff too. So
yeah, make it feel right, man.
But go ahead and plug in your stuff, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. We've been out here for a minute.
Yeah, you guys can find me everything pro wrestling. Go to my Twitter at EPW Show, Instagram at EPW Show. You guys can find me everywhere. I got a YouTube channel, type in everything pro wrestling, subscribe to the channel. Usually if you look in my description boxes and stuff, I have a link tree that'll link you to all my podcasts. I've got some really dope t-shirts I just put up. You'll be checking one of them out on my Wednesday review. I'm going to wear it. But other than that, man, Malik, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Shout out to Kyron, Steve, everyone from the Brainbuster Radio, our group thread. I appreciate you guys checking out my stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a follow up on everything after this week. I want to do a follow up just like you are on your channel. I'll do a follow up on everything that's going on this week, and I will tell you this that I'm going to do when the Rumble comes, I'm gonna do live reactions on my channel like we're doing right now to the Rumble. I did the live reaction for the whole pay per view. That was a bit much, man, because the pay per view is so long. So I'm gonna do a live reaction, do both Rumbles for the women's and the men's live on my channel. And then I also got some stuff coming up. We do my debates on the weekends, like we always do. Top 10s. We're still going to be doing those, reviewing. I'm going to be doing live reactions for Hell in a Cell on Sunday. I'm going to be doing reactions all week this week for Raw. I'm doing reactions for AEW. I'm doing reactions for NXT. I'm doing reactions for SmackDown. I'm doing all reactions this week because it's going to be a crazy week. It's going to be it's an exciting week, man. Like I said, like he said, don't enjoy the wrestling. You don't have to pick which brand's better, which brand is it. Just enjoy the product, bro. Like, there's no reason you should be upset with wrestling anytime right now because there's so many different things you can enjoy. If you're not happy with Raw going on, okay, you can tune into AEW on Wednesday and see what they're about. It's different. If you know, Impact is what, on Tuesdays now? I believe
Yep.
Tuesday Impact.
It'll start officially on the 29th, but they're showing reruns of pay-per-view. So if you haven't been watching Impact, you can get caught up on all the pay-per-views. Like, okay, so this is what's been going on.
And obviously, Impact wasn't as big as it was back, when it was TNA and everything. But it's starting to evolve again. Like, people are starting to get familiar with who people are on Impact. You still got New Japan out there. You be familiar with the product. Get out there with the product and be invested in stuff. So make sure you guys subscribe to his stuff. Check out his channel, all that stuff. I appreciate you being my guest. We did a little bit longer than I wanted to, but we talked about a lot of stuff. So it gets like that sometimes wrestling. So tune into all his stuff and make sure you watch out for my reactions this week.